Afternoon, everybody. Cyan here. Namaste. I hope your day is blessed. What I'd like to do is start off with a Warcraft logs video. The concept behind this video is to discuss the different ways that Warcraft logs can help you become a better raider. Now, I know I'm probably going to end up missing a couple of things as I go through this, so naturally, click like, thumbs up on the video, subscribe, comment below so that way I can improve in the content. And if I end up making enough mistakes, believe me, you know I'm going to be making another video. So let's go to the top though. You can click on home. And that's going to bring you, once you filled in, you do your thing, you get to the logs, sign yourself in, all that other fun stuff, come over here. You come to zones. And since we're in Blackrock Foundry, I'm just going to do a basic one that we went through quite a bit. A lot of people have experienced of late is Operator Thogar, okay, which is a two-fold fight. So we'll kind of do Gruul. I think we'll do Gruul and we'll do Thogar, right? So I'll bring up Gruul, open in a new tab, come down to Operator Thogar, do the same thing, open in a new tab, okay? So we bring it up, and so what you have now is rankings for Blackrock Foundry involving mythical, all items level, damage done, etc. So what you'd like to do is you can look at the different aspects of the game that are available, of the data that's available, involving guild speed, execution, player damage, healing, tank survivability, player damage done to the bosses, player healing to tanks, and feats of strength. You can also select each one of the bosses, and they're all there. Mythic, Heroic, Normal, LFR, US, EU, Asia, all the different classes, so if you want to compare yourself directly, and this is going to be the point of the video, and then item levels. So naturally I'm going to go ahead and do a comparison for what we have going on. So we did normal, right? We know Gruul, this is a single target fight. So what this is going to do is show the overall damage output for those individuals, and then we'll go to item level, and we'll select a relative one to where our average is. Our average is about in between here. And this is the overall damage that's being done by single target. You can see your top ranks and all the way through, and I believe it goes down to 200 and it continues on for each one of them as it does, and where you rank as far as your overall output. So what I want to go ahead and point out the next thing, say you wanted to go ahead and compare a Retribution Paladin. What you would do is you hold down the control key, click on that, and that's going to bring up the additional log here in a new window. And this is the overall damage that the individual did throughout the entire encounter. Now you can come down here and you can click on it, and it shows that he's 672, he was active 98% of the time, his DPS output as far as his overall compared to his active, very, very high. So what you can do now is then you click on him, and it's going to show his damage done. So Hand of Light, Hammer of Wrath, Final Verdict, Melee, Execution Sentence, Crusader Strike, Seal of Truth, Divine Storm, Judgment, etc. And it shows how he's doing a single target rotation as far as total damage that he put out. This will all give you information to be able to sit there and figure out exactly what you need to do on each boss and how to do it for your class. Now we'll step back, right? Close this window, come back to where it's at, and then what we want to go ahead and take another look at is, say we want to compare ourselves by just a specific class. So we come here down to Paladin, go to Retribution, and this is the top Paladin's output for theirs, right? Now, this gives you the DPS that they've done. Again, you can click on it, it'll show you each one of them. You can also go to their armory link and see where they're at currently. It shows the date when this was publicated and the duration of the time of the amount of the fight. Now, let's go to another fight, okay? Operator Thogar. Single target with a lot of multi-target, right? So we start seeing other classes that start to pop up in the relative levels. We go over here, go to normal, click on the item level, and these are the outputs that you'll see relative to what we do on a consistent basis. Now, look at somebody here. This is an enhancement shaman doing 71,000 damage, okay, at level 669 involving it. And what you can do is you can click on the target again. So you hold control key, click, brings it up in a new window. This is all the damage that they did. And then you can look at specifically how they did it. How many times they got hit. They did Fire Nova basically and hit 3,000 total times, involving all these different, all the different ads that are present in it. We can take a step back, and we can check out some of the other characters too that you might want to take a look at. So you can check out any of those classes, and then we jump back another one, and you can pick any of the classes that you want. So for example, let's do this one. Let's do Windwalker, right? These are all the top Windwalkers and the damage that they've done. Click on them, damage done. Click on their performance, and you'll see that spinning crane kick hit 2,000 times during the rotation of the attacks. Shows you specifically at what times that they did it and how that rotated through all of that. So there's a lot of data there. Let's go a little bit further now. Let's go ahead and take a look at what we did on our attempts. So we go to Fenris, shows last night's raids. We'll click on this here, and then it shows, for example, our kill on Thogar. Now this one here doesn't really give that much of an in-depth analysis yet, but what I want you to be able to do is that you can sit there and click on problems. Alright, and under the problems here, it shows, for example, individuals using their flasks, right? So we've got our potions. We've got a number of individuals, for example, on that kill that only used 1 instead of 2. I'd like to see 2 consistently used involving potions from now on, regardless of the level. The average level to be able to beat this boss is 659.5. We're at 669.2 with the group that we took in last night, and that number's gone up 5 points since last week, and we're going to consistently see that number creeping up. So what we need to do is get that number to be more reflective of the kills that we do. So using potions, for example, healing tonics, hellstones, things like that, those are all important. Those really help. Okay, let's take a look at another boss. Let's go back. And we'll look at another day. We'll look at, this is where we got our 5 kills, right? So we'll look at Flamebender here. Flamebender has a pretty good breakdown. Here's avoidable damage, and this is a really big section. If you're taking a lot of damage and you're like at the top, for example, here, you can look at the amount of damage that's taken from the sources and why you're getting hit, and then see if it's relative to the percentages. So like you come down here on the kill, you see that Yahuwah, for example, only took 1.38 of the total avoidable damage that went out and only got hit 5 times. So it's good avoidance, and that's what you want. Where on the other hand here, you have 35 hits, 33, 35. So we need to make sure that you're addressing, for example, where these hits are coming from, and you can do that by clicking on here, or you can look at each individual ones of the avoidable damage. Also, they have passing, which is an element that if you did well on it based on their averages, that's what it's relative to. Rising Flames, for example, here on the tanks, we ended up going a little bit higher than they want to. 7 is indicated as the best, so what we want to do is make sure that we're rotating properly at 6. And that's how you can analyze that. That'll help you with your performances on each one. I strongly suggest that everyone takes the time to be able to review their logs on a consistent basis, so that way you can develop it. You can also take your log performance here, go post that link of the logs in, for example, the World of Warcraft forums for your class, and you can get some excellent opportunities for different information to be able to convey, that'll be conveyed to you from people that play this game and have a really keen eye of being able to analyze and convey information. One last element that I want to go ahead and talk about is the replay. This is a really neat feature that's available. It shows everybody as far as their own mark and whatnot. You come down to the bottom and click play, and what you get to see is basically how the fight plays itself out and the positioning that we do. Now naturally, using our strategy, what we want to do is move from one side to the other. So what we have is an outlier out here, and then what we want to do is move properly as we can. Okay, different functions when they occur will show positioning your movement, how other people deal with it, when the Cinder Wolves come up, for example, and how we dealt with it for each one. This is a good way to review as far as your positioning. If you took a bunch of damage, you can kind of see why and then adjust accordingly. I hope that you appreciated this video. If you enjoyed it, please click like below and have a blessed day. Namaste, everybody.